Time is 8:14. Welcome back. Closing arguments are expected today in the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. The prosecution's final rebuttal witness testified on Wednesday that Lindsay Clancy is criminally responsible for killing her 3 kids.
Dr. Gregory Satoff says that he believes even though Clancy was suffering from mental illness, she could still identify right from wrong on the day of the murders.
But the defense argues this was deeper than just depression and said that Clancy was suffering from postpartum psychosis at the time, driven in part by sleeplessness and anxiety. Joining us now again to break this down, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Whew, here we go. We've been going for 5 weeks. This has been all over international, like watching a Netflix documentary. This has been really fascinating. When you have the final witness, like Dr. Satoff, an FBI-affiliated forensic psychiatrist, I mean, I would think that the words that come out of his mouth almost are like imprinted on the mind of a jury, and that, I mean, how important is a witness like that as you're wrapping up a trial?
Yeah, I mean, you want to have your best witness be the last impression that a jury can hear, and so the prosecution bringing this witness in as their rebuttal witness to try to, cement their last words. I think it was a good strategy on its face, but I would have picked him apart the same way that this defense attorney did. I mean, think about it. We were 85 witnesses in. They gave jury instructions, did a number of things. But his testimony, yeah, he believes that there was significant planning. This going to CVS, to picking up the food, the selecting of the bands to use as the murder weapon, a number of things where he believed that went into planning. But defense said everything I would have said. Listen, you didn't interview her for more than 3 years after. So the time framing of it, everyone else that came had some type of interview with her really, really close to her at the time when she was actually committed the murders, right? You haven't treated someone with postpartum psychosis since 1990. That's a long time ago. So if you're telling me that you believe this person isn't suffering from some type of psychosis, when was the last time you believed someone was? We can point to almost 30 plus years ago. That's what I would say is an issue. And then he talked about her expressing some dark ideas, but didn't really give a lot of serious weight to it. The defense attorney jumps right back on him, and then he kind of tried to pivot. I think on its face, having those credentials sound really nice, but in actual execution, defense tore him apart, and so defense didn't do it in a manner that made them seem like the jury wouldn't relate to them. They were asking basic questions, and his responses were not what you were anticipating for an expert of his caliber.
Khalif, kind of adding on that, one of the things that the prosecution said in their opening is that she kind of was tired of her life, and that's why she wanted to get rid of herself, wanted to get rid of the kids. And even on cross, Satoff said that minimizes what she was going through at that moment. For obviously the burden is on the state here. Do you think, because most people would say they were kind of on shaky ground, do you think they did enough?
I don't think there was enough done, and I think yesterday's jury instructions, the one victory for defense was getting that involuntary manslaughter thrown in there for a couple of reasons. The prosecution is saying, hey, this is first-degree murder. She planned this, she intended to do this, and she went out and executed it. They will harp home on that in their closing today. They've been saying that the entire time. The defense is saying, listen, she can't be found guilty because she wasn't able to understand and appreciate what she was doing. And why do I mention that involuntary manslaughter is an option, a good option for defense? If the jury doesn't buy the prosecutor's line, if they're not buying defenses, hey, she was innocent by reason of insanity, but I think there was some accountability, some culpability, that involuntary manslaughter is a key portion for where they couldn't potentially land. If that instruction wasn't given, it would have forced them into a box to try to figure out one of those, and I think that would have been harder for prosecution and maybe a little bit harder for defense. And so I think it gives an option. But to your original question, I think they haven't carried their burden throughout. Again, that testimony yesterday did not hit that hammer like you wanted. Their other expert wasn't as strong either. And so when this is going to be something that comes down to experts, you're going to want someone the best in the business to be able to put a nail in it. And I don't think they were able to do that.
Khalif, quickly take us into the deliberation room with the jury, right? This is 5 weeks that you're going to have to go in there and tear apart. I can only, 12 Angry Men, like the movie, like I can only put myself in. How difficult, all these pictures that have been painted over 5 weeks that you talk about all the time, what is that pressure like for a jury?
It's going to be hard, but I mean, most of the time, juries are going to give notepads, right, where they can take notes. And so I would say rely on your notes, and the judge will give instructions. Hey, I've given you an opportunity to take notes, but remember, your notes are not evidence. So you may be saying something that you wrote on your notes that's not accurate to what the evidence said. So check your notes, but then also checking for the evidence. So there may be a number of questions. 5 weeks is a long time. They may send notes to the judge, say, hey, can we look at this piece of evidence again? Because what I have written down on my paper from 2 weeks ago may not actually be what was occurring in court that day. So there'll be a number of fact checking once they get an opportunity to first talk about it, because when they go deliberate the first time, they can actually talk about the case. Folks will be comparing those. Hey, I think the doctor said this. No, I think the doctor said that. Well, let me bring the doctor's testimony back. Let's get the interview back. Those are the types of things you'll see, I think, in that first time. If it's something that comes right back with a verdict, we know that she'll be guilty.
Khalif, real quick, we're out of time.
Long, I don't think so.
Real quick, guilty or not guilty, what do you think?
Right now, I'm hedging not guilty, and not because I'm a defense attorney, just I don't think they've met their burden.
There it is.
Wow.
Our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, weighing on that for us. Khalif, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.